at the launching of the document. The document is as good, but the implementation is very important because the implementation encompasses several institutions and network to be able to ensure that the aspect of our national security is looked at. So we are here today, part of the president activity, to where the president came here on October 11, 2024, to break ground for a 20 megawatt solar plant. Today, the president came to dedicate that project. And the project was a very, or is a very important component in addition to our national power grid. The national power grid, where the need for electricity is high, and the need to add on additionally. In this project, they're in different phases. But phase one had to do with the completion of the 20 megawatts with funding and support from the World Bank. And there will be the phase two that will also include the, the additional 10 megawatts that will carry this to at least 30 megawatts that will be added. At this program, the president did talk about a number of different things, the importance that this project add on to our national electricity, but more so the fact that this was able to be completed in a record time, that we were just here in October in 2024 for a groundbreaking, and we are here to dedicate the project. For him, it is a benefit to not just the companies and those who are working here, but also the community and for the government as a whole. The fact that this can come on, this can be live and be added to our national power grid, he believes that we can do more. And he also talked about other projects and what he intends to do. It's really not about him, but about improving our country, carrying our country forward, implementing projects that will benefit the common good and the community itself. So for His Excellency, our President, he looks forward to undertaking these projects and doing more for the country and for our people. As I mentioned on the aspect of the national security strategy, I'll just quickly go on to our editorial for the week on that particular aspect as was mentioned. For His Excellency, His Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief of Liberia's Armed Forces, all of what he does is about improving governance, improving community, and making sure that Liberia becomes better than what we made it. Now the editorial. A strategic vision for a safer Liberia. President Joseph Hima Boakai Sr. launched of Liberia's National Security Strategy 2026 to 2036 marks a significant milestone in the nation's journey towards lasting peace, stability, and development. At a time when security threats are becoming increasingly complex and interconnected, Liberia's decision to adopt a comprehensive 10-year framework demonstrates foresight and responsible leadership. For many years, discussions around national security have often focused narrowly on military and law enforcement responses. The new strategy widely recognizes that true security extends beyond protection of borders and the public institutions. It embraces a broader vision that includes human rights, economic stability, public health, education, social cohesion, and citizen participation. This people-centered approach reflects the realities of a modern world, where insecurity can emerge from poverty, unemployment, cybercrime, disease outbreaks, and social division as easily as from traditional threats. Particularly noteworthy is the strategy's emphasis on prevention rather than reaction. By strengthening intelligence, coordination, improving broader security, and investing in community-based policing, the government aims to address security challenges before they escalate into crisis. Such measures can help build trust between citizens and security institutions while enhancing the effectiveness of national security efforts. The inclusion of emerging threats such as transnational and organized crime, cyber-related risk, economic vulnerabilities, sabotage, and public health emergencies further demonstrate that the strategy is grounded in present-day realities. As Liberia has become increasingly connected to regional and global architecture and systems, the country's security architecture must also evolve accordingly. Equally important is President Bouakai's recognition that security is a shared responsibility. Government agencies alone cannot guarantee national security. Citizens, civil society organizations, community leaders, the private sector, and development partners all have critical roles to play. The President's call for collaboration with regional and international bodies, including the Economic Community of West African States, the African Union, and the United Nations, reflect understanding that many contemporary society and security challenges transcend national borders. However, the success of the national security strategy will depend not just on its launch, but its implementation, as stated earlier. Adequate funding, institutional accountability, regular monitoring, and political commitment will be essential, as the President had mentioned. Security institutions must remain professional, transparent, and responsive to the needs of the people they serve. Periodic reviews of the strategy, as advocated by the President, will also be necessary to ensure that it remains relevant in an ever-changing security environment. Liberia has made remarkable progress since emerging from the years of conflict. The launch of this 10-year national security strategy offers an opportunity to consolidate these gains and build on a safer and more resilient nation. If implemented effectively, the framework can serve as a foundation for sustainable development, stronger governance, and enduring peace for generations to come. However, the challenge now is to transform vision into action, as Liberia's future depends on its security. Thank you all so kindly. As always, we'll take your questions. But just to square up in conclusion, as you saw earlier, part of the reason why the President was here was to also open and take a look at, as you can recall, when this Mount Coffee was built during the administration of Madam Sirleaf, there was an 88 megawatt turbine. But there have been some challenges, and 2 of those turbines were down. So I'm pleased to also announce that part of today's program wasn't just about the solar farm, it's also to talk and to see that those turbines that were down, they are up and running and actively contributing to the national power grid. We do understand electricity is a major issue for Liberians. However, the team at the Liberia Electricity Corporation and the government of Liberia, especially our president and commander-in-chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Bouakai, is very keen on ensuring that Liberia becomes a better place. By this, I mean contributing to all sectors, implementing this agenda to ensure Liberia is lighted up, Liberia's future is bright, and that Liberians can be happy that they elected a president in Joseph Bouakai Sr., and he's committed to making Liberia a better place than how he made it. Thank you all so very kindly. We look forward to taking your questions, should you have any, and have a good Friday evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Presidential Press Secretary, Ms. Anthony Williams from the LBS. When President Buckeye launched the national security strategy Thursday other day. The Justice Minister was also present, of course, being a part of uh, one major concern we raised. Apart from being a part of the government, he mentions the issue about implementation. A lot of government projects, a lot of government initiatives are on paper, but implementation is another thing. And the minister was concerned and was encouraging the implementation, the fullest implementation of the national strategy. So I want to know what the government stands with that on ensuring that this particular national security strategy is not only on paper, but can be implemented to its fullest.
Thank you very much. I think that's a very important point, and I also talked about the implementation. So one conversation I had with the team that work on this, inclusive of our National Security Council, but also those institutions like the NSA, the LMP, the MOJ, and others, was that within the document itself, there's an implementation plan. And that implementation plan, each institution that is involved is expected, and they're hoping to meet regularly and review the plan. And part of it, the reason why it's even important at this time, is to be able to align the strategy to the different institutions, to their national or their own general framework that they do to implement their different agenda. So yes, implementation is key with everyone, and the team also very clear that they're going to work on showing that this works. Okay? All right.
So, Madam, another question has to do with today's dedication. With the completion of this work and funded solar project and nonprofit, what measurable benefits should Liberians expect to see in a short to medium term, particularly regarding electricity reliability and access in underserved communities? You and I know the challenges that are faced by the locals when it comes to the issue of energy. During the dry season, it gets tough, and eventually gets better in the rainy season. Does the dedication of this particular solar farm stand to contribute greatly towards that, or helping to erase the issue of dry season, electricity shortages, and all of that?
Thank you, Anthony. And this 20 megawatt component will add to what we already have. We do know there are challenges during the dry season, and that is specifically why this project is very important, so that it helps that that gap that will be created during the dry season, it comes on. In phase 2, supposed to get started, from our understanding, by September, when the rains are subsiding, so that they're able to build, the phase 2 and contribute to the second component of the project. So yes, the community stands to benefit a lot. Yes, even, quite recently, there have been an outcry for electricity. Because before now, the team at LEC really did very well with the stabilization of the electricity. Despite the challenges, there was some maintenance, and then there were some areas. But now, as you may, communities have been experiencing stabilization or return to stabilization. And this is something that LEC team is working hard to doing continuously. That is not, we don't have a problem again. But of course, there are a number of different projects. In fact, as you saw earlier during the program, the government of Liberia, particularly the Minister of Finance, Development Planning, along with the World Bank, signed on 3 additional projects. And these projects also intending to help. And the president just returned from Kenya the other time, and the conversation also centered on generation of electricity. And then currently, as we speak, the team at LEC are really working forward to building another plant that will help, to be able to add on to what we already have and to fill out the gaps that's already there. So once we're able to get to that, I'm sure we will not be having the electricity problems that we have. But the other side of the thing is, Anthony, you know, we have a local parlance. They say, if you tell the cat not to steal the fish, tell the fish not to smell. We ourselves, we can sometimes become the problem in terms of power theft. We do not want to purchase electricity, we want to, you know, have free electricity. But if we all can contribute to sustaining our power, to sustaining the electricity that we have and not involving to the level of power theft that we have, it will help boost, you know, LEC's capacity to do more, you know, because the power you'll be stealing, you know, once you get it properly, they're able to stabilize, but you still, and then there's no way, and then you overburden a transformer or a transmission line, and then there's problem, and then LEC got to come and fix that problem, and it becomes, so the resources that they're supposed to use to expand other areas, they're using it to fix the problem that power theft have created. So we all as community members have to contribute to maintaining and sustaining these projects. So I think we'll stop here for today. And I'd like to thank all of you, really, on behalf of His Excellency the President, for all that you all do, contributing to the President's work, but coming all the way here, be with him. I saw some of you running, the exercises. I got some videos for you guys, waiting just for the right moment to be able to share. But again, I'm honored and thank all of you for coming. Looking forward to our continued work. See you next week at our usual location. Thank you, and good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Where's Lovette? Yes. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.